Get in, witches. We're going down the witches road and to our very first trial. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sasha Raquel and today we're reviewing episode 3 of Agatha All Along. You guys know how much I loved the first 2 episodes and I am so excited to get to talk to you about episode 3. If you liked episode 1 and 2, or if you're just joining us now and you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe so that you can see episodes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 when they eventually come out. Let me give you a little bit of a synopsis of this episode in particular. Now on the Witch's Road, the Coven faces their very first trial and their biggest fears while trapped in a posh Nancy Meyers dream home. I simply have to talk about the setting of this episode and the poof magic of new outfits, new glam, new hair, new setting, and kind of vibe for the episode because I love this element so much. This leans really into what I was saying in the first episode and review, which is how much this show is taking inspiration from, I would say, not even just witch media portrayals in popular culture and entertainment, but the portrayals of media that is very female centered. So I found this a really interesting twist on the Witch's Road and this journey that they're on. And I also think that stepping into this very Nancy Meyers-esque house is not only a Nancy Meyers type reference, it's not only maybe a little bit of a Real Housewives or Desperate Housewives kind of feel, but it also really reminded me of the house from Practical Magic, though I have to admit I have never fully seen the movie. I do know the vibes. I do know the fact that they live in this dream house that has this gorgeous kitchen. I also just really loved all the wine mom kind of jokes. It played off of very much the way the very first episode played off of like a Mayor of Easttown, True Detective, Twin Peaks type of vibe. This episode really played off of that. What is that Kristen Bell like parody show, but like the girl across the street from the woman in the window, something like that. Like it feels like that with the wine joke. I love getting to see them all with new looks, and also they still managed to work in things that felt magical for that specific setting. Something that's magical when you're looking to buy a house is like a really gorgeous kitchen or like a big sink. Like I love a farmhouse sink, okay? And the fact that they use that as a cauldron in this episode, I don't know, maybe I'm stretching so far because I just love this show so much, but the way that they're connecting like, oh, the magic of something you appreciate or the magic of media with the actual literal magic of a witch is so much fun to me, and I simply won't be over it if the show continues to do it. I will not stop talking about it. Similarly, they use the oven in this episode, kind of spoiler alert, as an escape route for this first trial. And I thought that was genius because the witch in the story of Hansel and Gretel has the children crawl into her oven so that she can eat them. And I was like, this is so just snaps all around. The dedication, again, to the bit, to the plot, to the vibe is there, and I'm just really enjoying it. I also really felt like this episode was a great opportunity, and this concept of kind of like, oh, we're in this new setting. Like, first of all, it makes the show feel unique, and it makes it feel like more like WandaVision, because WandaVision had like a decade of sitcoms each episode. For this episode to jump into that specific setting and kind of give a new look to all the characters, it feels very much like that's what we're going to be doing going forward. And according to the trailer, I've seen a couple of other looks. Some of the posters look a little different, so I'm kind of excited to dive into like different eras tropes of witches or different eras tropes of media at the time, because like the 80s clips from the trailer and posters looks very Stranger Things, maybe almost a little Scream-esque, and like 80s, 90s feels really fun. And I feel like the other thing is they're allowing these actresses who are so talented to flesh out their characters in more interesting ways. Like in this episode specifically, we get a lot about Agatha's backstory. We find out, once again, spoilers, that she traded her only son for the Darkhold, so for this power. Now, I think that has something to do, if I had to make a prediction, about the reason she was on the Witch's Road to begin with. I'm interested to see kind of where this goes for her. Like, is this something she was forced to do? Did she make a sacrifice for her child, or was her child the sacrifice? Like, I want to know a little bit more about this, but it got me intrigued with such distinct visions while they're having their hallucinations during the curse in this episode. I feel like we got to see different sides of all these characters. We also got to explore the fact that not only are they kind of jumping into a new look time period, quote unquote, in this first trial and in this house, but we got to see like Patti LuPone's character, I'm so sorry, I don't have them all down now, has this Tudor style ghost that is haunting her. and it feels like, oh, okay, these witches feel like they've been in the world. Like, it feels like we've created witches that exist in different times and have just exist alive at the current moment. And that's really fun. I can't wait to see how their backstories unfold a little bit more. Obviously, specifically Agatha, I care about, but to see all the rest of them too, I'm really excited. And then that leads me to the biggest mystery of this episode, which I alluded to in my spoiler-free review of episodes 1 and 2, but Teen, Jo Locke's character. First of all, Jo, baby, you're absolutely killing it. Doing a great job. But who is Teen? So we find out in this episode that he's got the curse on him so that no one can know who he is. He alludes to his life, but we can't figure out why he has this curse on him, why he can't say these things. I have a theory that I think is true, not only because I think it, but because the credits hint at something. There's a couple of cards that show a couple different witches, and then there's a different card in the center. And I'm not going to go ahead and say exactly what it is, but I feel like we've seen this character before. I feel like we know him. I feel like he could be a multiversal variant of this character. But the second that I saw this card in the credits, first of all, I knew that's got to be an Easter egg. It's not that it feels obvious, but it feels like they are putting it in plain sight and just not making you wait, but seeing if there's like different clues that will unfold. Because some of the things he has said would be contradictory to my theory. Fine, I'll say it. I think he's Billy Maximoff. I think that Teen is Wanda's son, Wiccan, because in the credit, there is a little magician card, and the magician has the same type of headband that Wiccan wears in the comics. So that's my prediction. I feel like with setting up a little bit of the Young Avengers, I feel like introducing another one in this series feels like a no-brainer to do, and especially with somebody who is as talented as Jo Locke. So that's my prediction there. But I'm really excited to know what you guys think. If that feels too obvious, let me know. Let me know your thoughts overall on this episode. With that being said, if you want to see more Agatha content or just Marvel content in general, please be sure to subscribe because I make a ton of it here on the Sassier Zapata YouTube channel. So it would really help me out if you guys subscribed. And that's going to be it. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day or night whenever you're getting to watch this, and I will see you all in my very next video. Bye, y'all.